So last week I did a video where I ranked all of the Sims 3's hidden traits, and I just want to say thank you because a lot of y'all really seem to like that video. And it's kind of funny because in the comments, I can't remember who said it, but I got a comment last week. They were like, CJ, have you thought about ranking the Sims 3 trait chips for the Plumbots? I didn't tell anyone because in my brain I was like, that's kind of one that I want to do anyway. So the fact that I thought about it and then you thought about it, I was like, I need to kind of do it now, I guess. So today I'm going to be ranking all of the Sims 3 trait chips. So if you don't know what these are basically for the Plumbots. So Plumbots are basically the robots that come with into the future for the Sims 3. So basically when you make a Plumbot, they'll be like a blank slate. You give them trait chips to kind of give them personality, and it allows them to do different things. Some of these things I think are super useful. Some of these things I feel like are not that useful, or really I just never used it before. So today I kind of just want to rank all of these trait chips in terms of how I use them and how I like them. So this is just going to be an opinionated video. There's really no right or wrong answer for any of these, I don't think. So if my opinion and your opinion do not line up, that's fine. We could talk about it in the comment section, but like literally y'all, I'm just the guy. This is just my opinion. I'm just saying. So for this video, I made 3 tiers. So I have the I use this all the time, which is like the top tier, My middle tier is useful, but I rarely use, which is kind of self-explanatory, I still think they're useful, but I just rarely use these. I'm just not using these that much. And then the last tier or the bottom tier is literally have never used it, because there's some of these, y'all, that I like I said, I had to go look them up, and I was like, what is this? I've never used it before. So I guess we'll go down the line. So first up, we have AI Angler. This one basically just gives your Plumbots maxed out fishing skill, and it allows them to fish. Now, listen, y'all. That can be useful. Okay, it really can. I have never used it. I think I've only maybe used this once. This is just not something that I normally do. Like, even when I play The Sims, I don't normally have my Sims fish. So I wouldn't really want to have my robot fish, if that makes sense. But in the grand scheme of things, this one can be very, very useful because you can basically have a robot or your Plumbot fish for you. And then, like, since they have maxed out fishing skill, they'll probably be more likely to get, like, super expensive or rare fish. And then you can either keep them or sell them. So I kind of want to do a video now where I try to see how much money you can make from that. So let me know, should I do a video like that? Because I would definitely do it. I feel like if I'm being true to myself and I'm being honest, I can't put this at the top. It does have some useful gameplay to it, but I feel like I should either put this in the literally have never used it or useful, but I rarely use it. And I think maybe I'll put it in the middle tier because I feel like I have used this at one point. I feel like I have. I could be lying about that, but I feel like I've used this at some point. So I'm going to just put this in the middle tier. Maybe it's like middle tier, honorary bottom tier, honestly. So next up we have Algorithmic Artist. And this is basically the same thing as the AI Angler, only instead of fishing, just replace fishing with art or painting skill. It basically just maxes out your Plumbot's painting skill. I've never really used this ever. Like, I'm being so honest, y'all, I don't think I've ever used this before. I would put this in the useful but rarely used category, but I've never used it. I really don't think I've ever used it before, y'all. Like, ever. I gotta put it in the bottom tier. I'm sorry. Listen, it's useful because you can have your Plumbots paint and then just sell the paintings for a lot of money, but I just don't ever have my normal Sims paint that much, and I know for a fact I don't have my Plumbots paint. Painting in The Sims 3 takes a long time, and I just don't have the attention span sometimes. Like, usually, if I do have my Sim paint, as a lot of y'all may know, I do a lot of legacy challenges, so the Not So Berry, the Jam Legacy, the Lepacy. Usually, if you see me play the game for content and I'm painting, it's usually because I have to for a rule, for a challenge. But if I'm just playing, normally off camera, I don't have my Sims paint that much. I have nothing against it. It just takes a long time and I don't have the attention span sometimes. So if I rarely have my human Sims paint, I know for a fact I'm not gonna have my Plumbots, right? So I gotta put it down here. But I'm gonna be honest, y'all, this is also a potential video because I want to know how much money can you make from Plumbots if they just paint. Like, I need to know now. So, yeah, let me know. Should I do one on fishing and or should I do one on painting? Because, like, that needs to be studied, y'all. I need to figure that out. But, yeah, I have to put it down here because I just never use it that much. Sorry, but it just be like that, So, next up, we have Capacity to Love. This one just basically unlocks romantic interactions for your Plumbot. It basically allows them to form relationships and to fall in love. I'm going to be honest, I have used this one before, and it is useful, I guess. Like, I don't know. Let me ask y'all. Do you have your Plumbots, falling in love with other Plumbots or with other Sims? Like, is that something that you do? Because, like, I don't really. I have before, but that's just not usually the way I play the game. Like, you'll see from this list the kind of simmer I am and how I treat my plumbots in the game, I guess. I'm just not a big having my robot romance other people kind of simmer, really. I've done it before. It's useful. I'm glad they have it in the game because, like, simmers are going to sim. If you can woohoo with something, I'm sure there is a simmer that will try. So yeah, I'm just gonna put this one in the useful, but I rarely use it because I really don't use it that much. But yeah, it's kind of useful. All right, next up we have competent cleaner. Yeah, we're gonna put this in the top. Competent cleaner basically just makes it so that your plumbots clean on their own, i.e. a free maid. This one to me is probably one of the most useful ones. Listen, y'all, when I make plumbots, I like them to stay home, and I like them to take care of the house, and I like them to help out with my Sims. So if they could just clean my house and I don't have to worry about hiring a maid, I don't have to get a Bonehilda. I like Bonehilda, but she's kind of glitchy in The Sims 3. If you know, you know, especially if you have pets. Bonehilda will teach your dog every trick in the book before she'll sometimes mop up the floor or clean a mess. So if I could just have like a robot that doesn't get distracted and just cleans for me, I love it. That to me is the best. I love that. We're going to put that in the top tier. It's the best. It's one of the best. So next up we have efficient. Now this was one of the ones I had to look up because I'm like, I've never used it. This one is super useful. So it basically makes it so that any task that your plumbot does, they do it more efficiently. So I guess it has like a less chance of it failing. So like basically any skill that you have them build, if they have the limitless learning trait chip, I think they have to have the limitless learning for the trait stuff to work. Basically, like any skill that you have your plumbots learn, they'll learn it like a little bit faster. They'll use, I think, battery power more efficiently. So it's a very useful trait. I just never used it before. Like my brain just never was like, hey CJ, put this on. I've never used it. I have to put it in the bottom tier. In terms of like how I play the game, it's got to be in the bottom tier, y'all, because I've never used it. But I feel like this one is probably one of the best ones. Like it literally makes them almost broken in a way. Yeah, I just don't know why. I just never used it before. I think whenever I do these kind of tier videos, it always kind of makes me wish that I explored a little bit more with certain things because like, I have my own playstyle and I'm pretty sure you have your own playstyle too. So it's like, I feel like if anything, I need to like expand my horizons a little bit more and just play with some trait chips and things I never really play with. But yeah, I have to put this in the bottom tier, but it's honestly, y'all, one of the best. It needs to be up here, but I gotta put it down here, unfortunately. Now, the next one I think I am gonna put down here, and I think it deserves to stay down here. This one is the fear of human trait chip. This one sucks, in my opinion. It basically makes it so that your plumbots are afraid of humans. That's basically it. Whenever they see a human or they're around a human, they get a bad mood lit, they'll start being scared and shaken, and then they may even pee on themselves. Or I guess they'll just pee oil, they'll have like an oil puddle. This one to me is bottom tier. I don't like it. It's annoying, especially if you have a plumbot in your household. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and this is just my opinion. I would never want to have this on my plumbot that live at home with me. I would never want that because that means they would just be cleaning up messes all day long, or I would have to clean up the mess all day long. And that's annoying. I can see how it could be kind of funny and maybe useful in some situations, but like, no, not in my everyday gameplay. No, if anything, that would annoy me and make me want to take it off of them. So yeah, it's a bottom tier trait. It's probably like one of my least favorite ones, actually. So the next trait chip is friendly functions. This one just makes it so that your plumbots can be friendly with people. It basically just unlocks social interactions. They'll talk to Sims on their own. You can talk to them and be friendly. It's pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna be honest though, I'm gonna put this in the useful but rarely used. It's useful, in terms of like being able to have your plumbot be more like a human sim, or more lifelike. But the way that I play the game, I don't really need you to be friendly with me, okay? I just need you to clean up the mess, or the garden, or do whatever else I told you to do, and we don't really gotta talk that much, We can be friendly, well, I guess we can't be friendly if I don't have the trait chip, but like, I'll take care of you and make sure you don't break down and that you can charge, but I don't really need to be friends. So I'm gonna put this one in the useful but rarely used, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing against it, it's just not one that I go to, I'm more of a competent cleaner kind of simmer, not friendly functions. All right, so next up we have Handybot, and you already know where I'm gonna put this, y'all. Okay, listen, if I love competent cleaner, why wouldn't I like Handybot? So Handybot just makes it so that their handiness skill is maxed out, so they'll basically be able to like repair things if it's broken. I'm pretty sure they can also upgrade objects too. You basically have a built-in handyman, okay? Built-in maid, built-in handyman. I mean, literally, these two together alone, most of your house duties are done right there. And y'all know, if you watched me play the game, you know a lot of my houses have that really cheap toilet from the base game, so you already know that one's gonna be breaking down all the time. I need a plumbot that can fix that, you know what I'm saying? Because like, calling the repair technician, that's like what, $50 or $75, I forgot. It's like, it's not a lot of money, but having to call them to fix stuff, that's a hassle. Why would I do that when I got a robot that can just do it for free? Come on now. So for me, this one is gonna go in the I use all the time because I literally use it all the time. We're gonna put that in the top tier. It's one of the best ones, y'all. It's literally one of the best ones. Okay, so next up we have Hollow Projector. So this one makes it so that if your Sims are in the present and they've already met Sims from the future, when they go back home, they can basically call the future Sims through your Plumbot. So think of it as like FaceTime, but in robot form, I guess. I looked this up also, and apparently if you have World Adventures installed, you can also talk to the Sims that are in the destination worlds, which is cool. I have personally never used this one at all, so I cannot put it in any other tier than the last one, you know? I feel like if I had to rank these even in this tier, this one is the best one out of the ones I've never used, then it would be this one. This one will go at the very end because I hate it. But yeah, I just never really used this one at all. It's useful, I guess, but for me, usually, once I leave from a destination world or from the future, I don't really think about the Sims that I left behind that much. And usually if I do, I'll just go back or I guess just invite them. And I guess like with Sims from the future, I don't think you can invite them to your house if they're in the future. So I guess this is a good way of keeping in contact with them. But I just personally never even go to the future that much anymore. And you really don't have to make a Plumbot. So yeah, this one for me is one of those ones that I probably will never really use. I may try to use it, you know, maybe here and there, but it's just not one that I'm gonna actually go out my way to ever use, because usually if I'm playing Into the Future gameplay, I'm usually there and I don't really need to call them then, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna put that one in the bottom tier. Also, I do wonder though, maybe one of y'all can tell me, if you're in the future, can you use the Plumbots to call Sims from the past? Maybe, yes, does anyone know if that's true or not? Please let me know down below because I don't know. But either way, I'm gonna put this in the bottom tier though. So next up we have Limitless Learning. This one is one of the best ones, y'all. I don't know if I have this on every single last Plumbot I make, but I do use this one a lot. So this one just makes it so that your Plumbots can learn skills. That's basically it. Now, they won't be able to max out every skill. It just gives them the ability to learn every skill. So they still have to like build it from scratch. But like I said, if you have this one mixed in with the efficient one, if you have both of these together, they can basically learn skills a little bit faster. So they both kind of work in tandem, but you don't have to have them installed on the same Plumbot at the same time. This one just opens up a lot of different possibilities for your Plumbots, and also they can learn more skills that maybe your Sim doesn't want to learn or that you are too busy to learn, you know? So yeah, this one is like one of the best ones too. Okay, so next up we have a Mood Adjuster. This one allows your Plumbots to just change and regulate the moods of other Sims. So they can give them massages, they can shoot them with a mood beam. That's cool and all, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all, I don't think I've ever used it before. Like, I'm really trying to think. Maybe one time before, but I don't think that's enough to put it in, like, useful but rarely used. This is useful because you can improve your Sims' mood, but personally, the way I play the game, it's gotta go down here, y'all. It's just not one that I'm using a lot, and I really didn't even know everything that it did until I looked it up, so yeah, that's gonna go down here for me personally. I'm pretty sure one of y'all out there probably uses this all the time, I just don't, you know? So next up, we have Musical Machine. This one maxes out every instrument skill, except for violin. Because the violin is store content, but it doesn't do anything for that one. But I guess every other instrument in the game. And also, it unlocks every song, I believe, for the Plumbots. I can't lie, y'all. It is useful, but I have never used it before. Like, ever. I have to put it in the bottom tier. Like, this is looking kind of crazy to low-key. We have a lot of useful things down here, but, like, this is kind of crazy, y'all. Like, CJ, what's going on, brother? So, next up, we have a Robo Nanny. And this one, y'all, is one of the best ones. Actually, I think I'm gonna put this like up here in like the best of the best. Honestly, these two are like tied for first place. This one I think is one of the best ones. It's basically a built-in babysitter. Okay, it makes it so that your Plumbots can take care of the babies and toddlers, and that is to me so useful. Y'all, if you've seen me ever play The Sims 3 with Plumbots, 9 times out of 10, one of the Plumbots is gonna have this trait chip, y'all. I use this all the time. Like, it's, again, one of the best ones. It's basically a built-in babysitter. I will say, though, it is kind of annoying a little bit when it comes to how Plumbots use this, especially if you have, like, the baby playpen object from the Sims 3 store. Sometimes the Plumbots will pick up a baby and place them down in it and then pick them up and put them back down. I think sometimes normal Sims do that, too. So it does get kind of annoying sometimes when you use it, but overall, it's just so useful that I have to have it in my game. You can have them teach the babies how to talk, walk, be potty trained. They can take care of them. I love it. It's so useful. How can I not use that? So I have to put that in the top tier. So next up we have Office Drone. This one allows them to get jobs. I'm going to put this in the useful but rarely used. If I'm being honest, I think this is like maybe the most useful one that's going to be in this category, probably. The reason why this one isn't in the top tier is because I don't really need my Plumbots to get jobs. Usually, you know, sometimes depending on the family or how much money we have, yeah, then maybe I will make them put the fries in the bag. But usually no, because usually my Sims are kind of well off where they have enough money on their own. Yeah, so I can't really put this in the I use all the time because I really don't use it all the time, but it does have its uses. You can have them get jobs, and that's kind of good because sometimes, like I said, you need them to put the fries in the bag, you know? So next up we have the Robotany Gardener. This one, y'all, listen, top tier. It basically maxes out their gardening skill and it lets them take care of your harvestables. One of the best ones. Look, if I have to like readjust these, I would probably put this one above handiness one. Cause like, I feel like for me, I'm more likely to have a nice garden or like a nice, you know, place where all my harvestables are versus really caring about stuff being upgraded. I still like limitless learning. I think this one is useful overall, but like, I think that I would rather put like, you know, handiness in front of it and then like this one could be like in the middle. That makes sense to me. And also too, your plumbots have access to a special fertilizer if they have this trait chip, and it basically like makes the quality of your produce or whatever outstanding quality, which I think is like the best one in the game. So like basically it's like a broken gardener. Like, come on now, we need it. I gotta put it in the top tier, you know. Sometimes I don't want to take care of my garden, but I'll have my plumbot do it, you know. All right, so next up we have sense of humor. This one just makes it so that your plumbots can tell jokes. I'm gonna put this one in the useful but rarely used because I have used this one before, but I'm gonna be honest, y'all, it could go down here also. I have used this from time to time. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that useful to my gameplay, really. I've more so like put it on special plumbots, but in terms of my everyday average gameplay, yeah, this one would be like definitely at the bottom tier. But I have used it from time to time, so I am going to put this in the useful but rarely used. All right, so next up we have the Sentience trait chip. This one allows them to be a little bit more lifelike. It gives them access to wants. They can also have opportunities, and I believe it also gives them lifetime wishes. And it also unlocks the fun, social, and mood motives. I had to go look that part up because I didn't really know what else it did. But yeah, it unlocks the fun, social, and mood motives. I have used this before. It's not something that I use all the time. I think it is useful, like for just normal gameplay. Maybe you want your plumbot to be more lifelike, you know, and be more aware. Usually when I play though, I don't need them to do that. They need to just do what they're supposed to do, you know what I mean? But I'll put this in the useful but I rarely use. I think this is a fair place to put it, you know? I have used it before, so I can't put it in never use. It's just, I don't use it that much, you know? So next up we have the simulated emotions trait chip. I'm gonna put this in the never used before. I had to look this one up, so I'm gonna read this from the Sims wiki because I didn't even know. So basically this one just allows them to feel emotions. So they have access to being happy, sad, or angry. So it says activates the social and mood meters. It also says grants access to 3 different emotional modes: happy, sad, and angry. And then it also says enable interactions to thoroughly express any emotion at any time, which I guess is kind of cool, but I just don't need my plumbots to have emotions really. Like they, you know what I mean? They don't need to have that. It also says down here in the player notes that if the plumbot's maintenance motive gets low, it will not be able to use emotional mode until the motive has improved, for instance, by tuning up. So that's kind of cool. If their maintenance is low, they really can't like use their trait chip, which is kind of cool, I guess. But I've never really used this one, y'all. If I had to like rank this on the bottom tier, maybe I would say like it's better than maybe the hollow projector, I would say. But I've never really used this before. I don't really need my Simbots to be emotional, really. I think it's kind of crazy that I said that because literally the next one is Sinister Circuits and I love this one. I can't say I use it all the time, but I have used it before. So this one and the simulated emotions one are similar. However, the Sinister Circuits is more about being evil. So they can shoot Sims with a sadness beam to basically affect their mood. They can also like give a massage, but they'll just pick up a Sim and start shaking him. And they basically can perform mean interactions. I really like this one. I think it's funny. Kind of crazy that I put this one down here in the bottom tier, but this one is in a better tier. And the fact that like these Sims can get angry, but it's not the same as being evil. You know what I'm saying? I like this one a lot. I'm gonna put this one maybe above the AI Angler, you know? I don't put this on every plumbot, you know, honestly, but I love this one. That one is funny. I quite like that one. So the next trait chip is the solar powered trait chip. This one is one of the best ones, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie, it's one of the best ones. I'm gonna put this one, I feel like it should be at the top if I'm being honest, but I'm gonna put this one maybe here because I've only ever started using this one a couple of years ago. I didn't even know it was in the game. It basically makes it so that your plumbots are solar powered. Plumbots, if you don't know, they have to charge on charging stations every so often, but if you give them the solar power one, if they're out in the sun, they don't need to charge. They literally will stay fully charged in the sun until they go in the house or it becomes nighttime. This one is like extremely useful. I think it's like probably one of the best ones in the game. I guess the only downside is that they have to be outside in order for it to work, but like other than that, there's really no downside. downside. I guess if you want to see your Plumbots charge, it's a downside for you. But in the grand scheme of things for me, there's really no downside to this, y'all. This is literally just built-in charging pad. We love that. Okay, one of the best ones. So last but not least, we have Still Chef. And I'm gonna put this one, yo, honestly, in the useful but I rarely use category. You would think that I would put this in the top because this one allows your Plumbots to have maxed out cooking skill and they can make every single recipe. But if I'm being honest, I don't use this one that much. I really don't. If I have this equipped, usually if I need another trait chip, this is like one of the first ones that will go, you know? I'm gonna put this one in useful but rarely used. I feel like I maybe use Office Drone more than I use this one, but I'm gonna still put this like in the top 3. It is useful, like I said, you have a built-in chef for you. So now I'm gonna go over to Sims Wiki for a second, because there's some additional information that I didn't even know, and I thought it was kind of useful if I share it with y'all. So it says, cooking skill is raised to the maximum. We already knew that. It says all cooking recipes are immediately learned, which I knew that as well. Now, this part I did not know. It says Plumbot takes the initiative to cook for other Sims when they are hungry. Now, I had no idea that they even knew when I was hungry, so that's kind of cool, I guess. And then it says down here in the player notes, although it will make large meals often, it is not able to move the meals it makes into the fridge without additional chips, nor can it clean up spoiled meals it has made without the competent cleaner or sentient chips. So it looks like if they don't have other trait chips installed along with this one, then you're gonna most likely have to go behind them and like put it away or clean it up, you know? So I guess it literally is just them cooking and that's about it. It also says it will also make large meals frequently without any regard as to whether the sim, if any in the household, are actually hungry or not. So I was right, it doesn't really know. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Potentially resulting in large amount of spoiled food plates and incomplete food traits spread around. Sounds about right. That sounds more like what would actually happen in The Sims. So yeah, it's useful overall because you basically have a built-in chef, but there are some caveats. So I guess keep that in mind. But either way, I'm going to put this one in the useful but rarely used because I don't really use it that much. So with that being said, this is basically how I rank every single Plumbot trait chip in The Sims 3. So now I have to ask y'all, how would you rank these? Like, what is your I use all the time? What is your useful but I rarely use? And what is your literally have never used trait chips? Because I really want to know. Like I said, y'all, this is just my opinion. If your opinion is different, that's okay. I would love to talk about this kind of stuff down in the comment section. So let me know, like, how do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me know. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. I'm going to say a big thank you again to the people over at The Sims Wiki for making this article because I had to like consult it a couple of times because I didn't know a lot of this stuff. So it's cool to have a resource like The Sims Wiki to kind of refer to whenever you don't know something, you know? So I'm also going to leave a link to the Sims Wiki page linked down below if you just want to read over some of these trait chips in your own time. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like, comment something down below. If you like this kind of video, I have a whole playlist of me ranking a lot of things in The Sims. Not just in The Sims 3, I also have some Sims 4 ranking too. So I'll leave the whole playlist link down below. Like I said, last week, I ranked the hidden traits in The Sims 3. So if you want to see that, I'll leave a link down below. But anyway, y'all, that is all that I have for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Thanks for watching!